Ladies and gentlemen, have you ever paused amidst the clamor of daily life to engage in a genuine conversation with yourself? Not the mundane chatter about tasks and to-do lists, but a profound dialogue that delves into the very essence of your being. Today, I invite you to embark on such a journey that promises to unravel the mysteries of your existence and perhaps transform the way you perceive the world. Stay with me, for this exploration might just lead you to a revelation that could alter the very fabric of your reality. In our quest for understanding, we often perceive ourselves as isolated entities, navigating a vast and indifferent universe. Yet this sense of separateness is but a veil, obscuring the deeper truth of our interconnectedness. Imagine a wave believing itself to be separate from the ocean, unaware that its very existence depends on the water beneath. Similarly, we are not isolated fragments, but integral expressions of the cosmos. Life, in its essence, is akin to a dance, a spontaneous rhythmic movement that defies rigid control. Consider the effortless grace of a dancer lost in the music, unburdened by conscious thought, embodying the pure joy of being. When we attempt to control every step, we stifle the natural flow, transforming the dance into a mechanical exercise, devoid of life. Our minds are often preoccupied with the shadows of the past or the mirages of the future, causing us to overlook the only reality we ever truly possess, the present moment. The past is but a memory, the future a projection. Both are constructs of the mind. To truly live is to immerse oneself fully in the now, embracing each moment as it unfolds. In this tapestry of existence, opposites coexist in a delicate balance: joy and sorrow, success and failure, pleasure and pain. Each defines and enhances the other. Just as the crest of a wave is inseparable from its trough, our experiences are enriched by the interplay of contrasts. Embracing this duality allows us to appreciate the full spectrum of life. The desire to control our environment, our future, even our thoughts, is a common pursuit. Yet such control is an illusion, a tightrope walk over the abyss of uncertainty. True liberation arises not from domination, but from surrender, from allowing ourselves to be carried by the current of life, trusting in its inherent wisdom. At the heart of this exploration lies the recognition of unity amidst diversity. The myriad forms we observe, trees, animals, stars, and humans, are manifestations of a singular reality. Like the facets of a diamond, each reflects a different aspect, yet all are part of the same gem. By transcending superficial distinctions, we awaken to the profound interconnectedness of all things. As we conclude this conversation with ourselves, let us carry forward the insights gleaned, not as abstract concepts, but as lived experiences. By dissolving the illusion of separateness, embracing the dance of life, anchoring ourselves in the present, appreciating the play of opposites, relinquishing the illusion of control, and recognizing the unity in diversity, we open the door to a richer, more fulfilling existence. May this inner dialogue continue to inspire and guide you on your journey. The notion of the separate self is a pervasive illusion that shapes our perception of reality. We often consider ourselves as isolated entities, distinct from the external world and other beings. This perspective fosters a sense of individuality, but also engenders feelings of alienation and disconnection. Alan Watts, a philosopher renowned for interpreting Eastern philosophies for Western audiences, challenged this conventional view by asserting that the self is not an isolated ego, but an integral part of the universe's continuous process. Watts argued that our sensation of being a separate I, confined within a physical body, is a hallucination. He suggested that this perception contradicts both Western scientific understanding and Eastern experiential philosophies. According to Watts, we do not come into this world. Rather, we emerge from it, much like leaves sprout from a tree or waves arise from the ocean. This analogy emphasizes that individuals are expressions of the whole realm of nature, unique actions of the total universe. This illusion of separateness is further reinforced by language and societal constructs. In many languages, the use of personal pronouns like I and you creates a dichotomy between the self and others, reinforcing the notion of individuality. Moreover, societal expectations often emphasize independence and self-sufficiency, perpetuating the belief in a distinct, separate self. Watts referred to this as the ego illusion, a concept ingrained in Western society that obscures our true interconnected nature. The implications of this illusion are profound. Believing in a separate self can lead to a sense of isolation and contribute to various forms of suffering. Watts suggested that cherishing the ego equates to cherishing misery, as it prevents us from recognizing our inherent connection to the universe. He posited that our so-called love and concern for the individual often stem from our own fear of death or rejection. In overvaluing separate identity, the personal ego metaphorically saws off the branch on which it sits, increasing anxiety about the impending fall. Recognizing the illusory nature of the separate self invites a shift in perspective. It encourages us to perceive ourselves not as isolated beings, but as integral parts of a larger, interconnected whole. This realization can foster a sense of unity, diminish feelings of alienation, and promote a deeper understanding of our place in the cosmos. By transcending the illusion of separateness, we open ourselves to a more authentic experience of existence, aligned with the continuous, dynamic process of the universe. Alan Watts, a renowned philosopher, often likened life to a dance, emphasizing that existence is inherently playful and without a predetermined destination. He suggested that much like music or dance, life should be experienced for its own sake, not merely as a means to an end. In his view, the journey itself holds intrinsic value, and the act of living is the purpose. Watts critiqued the common analogy of life as a journey aimed at a specific goal, such as success or heaven. He believed this perspective leads individuals to miss the essence of living. Instead, he proposed that life is akin to a musical composition, where the enjoyment comes from engaging in the process, singing or dancing, while the music plays. This philosophy encourages a shift from a goal-oriented mindset to one that appreciates the present moment. By embracing life as a dance, individuals can find fulfillment in the here and now, rather than constantly striving for future achievements. This approach fosters a deeper connection to the present and a more profound appreciation for the continuous flow of life. In essence, viewing life as a dance invites us to participate fully in each moment, recognizing that the act of living is itself the purpose, and that true fulfillment arises from embracing the journey, not merely reaching a destination. Alan Watts, a seminal figure in bringing Eastern philosophical concepts to Western audiences, emphasized the profound importance of embracing the present moment. In his 1951 book, The Wisdom of Insecurity, Watts delved into the human tendency to seek security in an unpredictable world, highlighting how this pursuit often leads to anxiety and disconnection from the immediacy of life. He argued that our preoccupation with future outcomes prevents us from fully experiencing the present, the only moment where life truly unfolds. Watts believed that the root of human frustration lies in our bias to live for the future, an abstraction that never truly arrives. He suggested that by constantly seeking assurance of a happy future, we overlook the inherent value of the present moment. This fixation on what's next leads to a cycle of perpetual dissatisfaction, as we are never fully present to appreciate the now. In his teachings, Watts often used metaphors to illustrate the significance of living in the present. He compared life to music, suggesting that just as the point of a musical composition isn't to reach the end but to enjoy each note, the purpose of life is found in the experience of each moment. This perspective encourages a shift from a goal-oriented mindset to one that values the journey itself. Watts also addressed the concept of time, challenging the conventional understanding that divides existence into past, present, and future. He proposed that such divisions are mental constructs, and that in reality, life is a continuous flow of present moments. By recognizing this, individuals can free themselves from the burdens of past regrets and future anxieties, allowing for a more authentic engagement with life. Furthermore, Watts emphasized the importance of embracing change and uncertainty. He believed that resisting the natural ebb and flow of life leads to suffering, whereas accepting impermanence allows for a more harmonious existence. This acceptance is closely tied to being present, as it requires acknowledging and embracing the transient nature of each moment. In essence, Alan Watts' teachings on embracing the present moment serve as a reminder that life is happening now, and that true fulfillment arises from fully experiencing and appreciating each moment as it comes. For a deeper understanding of Watts' perspective on living in the present, you might find the following lecture insightful. Alan Watts, a renowned philosopher and interpreter of Eastern thought, delved deeply into the concept of the coincidence of opposites, illustrating how seemingly contradictory elements are intrinsically interconnected. He proposed that our sensory experiences, such as sound or light, manifest as vibrations characterized by alternating phases on and off. This cyclical nature suggests that opposites, like presence and absence, are not mutually exclusive, but rather complementary aspects of a unified reality. Watts employed the metaphor of waves to elucidate this idea. Just as a wave comprises both crests and troughs, our experiences encompass dualities like light and dark, or self and other. These pairs exist in a dynamic interplay, each defining and giving meaning to the other. For instance, the concept of self is meaningful only in relation to non-self, highlighting the interdependence inherent in such dichotomies. This perspective challenges the conventional tendency to categorize and separate contrasting elements. Watts encouraged embracing the fluidity of existence, recognizing that life's richness stems from the harmonious coexistence of opposites. By acknowledging this interplay, we can transcend rigid classifications and appreciate the holistic nature of reality. In essence, Watts' exploration of the coincidence of opposites invites us to perceive the world not as a collection of isolated dualities, but as an integrated whole, where contrasts are essential components of the tapestry of existence. For a deeper insight into Alan Watts' perspective on this topic, you might find the following lecture illuminating. Alan Watts, a philosopher renowned for interpreting Eastern philosophies for Western audiences, often explored the concept of letting go of control. He suggested that our attempts to dominate and manipulate life's events stem from an illusion of separateness and a misunderstanding of our relationship with the universe. Watts proposed that true harmony arises not from exerting control, but from embracing the natural flow of existence. In his teachings, Watts used the metaphor of swimming to illustrate this idea. He noted that when we swim, we don't attempt to grasp the water, as doing so would cause us to sink. Instead, we relax and allow ourselves to float, trusting the water to support us. This analogy underscores the importance of yielding to life's currents rather than resisting them. By relinquishing the need to control every aspect, we align ourselves with the universe's inherent rhythms, leading to a more fulfilling and less stressful existence. Watts also addressed the fear associated with letting go. He acknowledged that releasing control can be daunting, as it requires trust in the unknown. However, he argued that this surrender is essential for genuine freedom and peace. By clinging to control, we create tension and anxiety, whereas embracing uncertainty allows us to experience life more fully and authentically. Furthermore, Watts emphasized that the desire for control often stems from the ego's need to assert its importance. By recognizing that the self is not an isolated entity, but part of a larger interconnected whole, we can ease the compulsion to control and instead participate harmoniously in the dance of existence. In essence, Watts' philosophy encourages us to trust the process of life, acknowledging that while we cannot dictate every outcome, we can find serenity and joy in the flow of being. Alan Watts, a philosopher renowned for interpreting Eastern philosophies for Western audiences, often explored the profound interconnectedness of all things. He proposed that the universe operates as an intricate web where every entity and event is interdependent, contributing to a unified whole. This perspective challenges the conventional notion of isolated individualities, suggesting instead that our existence is deeply intertwined with the cosmos. Watts used the metaphor of a flower in a field to illustrate this concept. He observed that a flower doesn't exist in isolation. Its presence depends on the specific conditions of its environment, the soil, the climate, the surrounding ecosystem. Similarly, humans are not separate from their surroundings, but are expressions of the universe, much like a wave is an expression of the ocean. This analogy emphasizes that our individuality is a manifestation of the totality, and we are integral components of the larger system. This understanding invites a shift from perceiving ourselves as detached observers to recognizing our role as active participants in the cosmic dance. By acknowledging our interconnectedness, we can cultivate a sense of unity and belonging, dissolving the illusion of separateness that often leads to feelings of isolation. Embracing this holistic view fosters empathy and compassion, as we come to see that harming another is, in essence, harming ourselves. Watts' teachings encourage us to transcend dualistic thinking, which categorizes the world into opposing forces, such as good and evil, or self and other. He suggested that these dichotomies are mental constructs that obscure the underlying unity of existence. By moving beyond these artificial divisions, we can experience life more fully, appreciating the seamless flow of the universe. In essence, Alan Watts' philosophy of the unity of all things challenges us to rethink our relationship with the world around us. It calls for an awareness that every action, thought, and emotion is part of a larger tapestry, intricately woven together. This realization not only transforms our perception, but also has the potential to lead to a more harmonious and integrated way of living. Alan Watts, a philosopher celebrated for his interpretations of Eastern philosophies, consistently emphasized the profound interconnectedness of all existence. He proposed that the universe operates as an intricate web, where every entity and event is interdependent, contributing to a unified whole. This perspective challenges the conventional notion of isolated individuality, suggesting instead that our existence is deeply intertwined with the cosmos. Watts used the metaphor of a flower in a field to illustrate this concept. He observed that a flower doesn't exist in isolation. Its presence depends on the specific conditions of its environment, the soil, the climate, the surrounding ecosystem. Similarly, humans are not separate from their surroundings, but are expressions of the universe, much like a wave is an expression of the ocean. This analogy emphasizes that our individuality is a manifestation of the totality, and we are integral components of the larger system. This understanding invites a shift from perceiving ourselves as detached observers to recognizing our role as active participants in the cosmic dance. By acknowledging our interconnectedness, we can cultivate a sense of unity and belonging, dissolving the illusion of separateness that often leads to feelings of isolation. Embracing this holistic view fosters empathy and compassion, as we come to see that harming another is, in essence, harming ourselves. Watts' teachings encourage us to transcend dualistic thinking, which categorizes the world into opposing forces such as good and evil, or self and other. He suggested that these dichotomies are mental constructs that obscure the underlying unity of existence. By moving beyond these artificial divisions, we can experience life more fully, appreciating the seamless flow of the universe. In essence, Alan Watts' philosophy of the unity of all things challenges us to rethink our relationship with the world around us. It calls for an awareness that every action, thought, and emotion is part of a larger tapestry, intricately woven together. This realization not only transforms our perception, but also has the potential to lead to a more harmonious and integrated way of living. For a deeper understanding of Alan Watts' perspective on unity, you might find the following lecture insightful.